Welcome, everyone. I'm Crista Ellis with Rising Rose Yoga, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Our practice today is chair yoga, finding your balance. And rather than thinking of balance as something we either have or don't have, I invite you to consider it as something dynamic, something that is constantly shifting, responding, and evolving within us. Before we begin, take a moment to gather what you'll need. A sturdy chair placed on a non-slip surface is essential, maybe a yoga mat. You might also like to have two yoga blocks or even a couple of sturdy boxes nearby for support. And if it feels good for your body, a blanket can offer a little extra comfort. And as we move through today's practice, we'll explore how balance is influenced by different factors. First, beginning with our base of support. So, thinking about our hips and our feet, where we place our gaze, where our eyes are looking, and even the subtle movements of our head and the eyes. There's no perfect expression here. Instead, we lean into a steady and gentle effort and a sense of letting go, releasing the need to get it right. And this is a practice of trust, trust in your body, trust in your ability to respond and adjust, and most importantly, trust in meeting yourself as you are today. I'll meet you on your mat. Namaste and welcome to your practice. An invitation to sit back into the chair that's supporting you. I have my feet on a blanket because it's a little chilly here in Western North Carolina. So just adding a little extra comfort for my toesies and my feetsies. Sitting back in your chair, getting what feels like comfortable in your body. We'll start by centering, arriving to this practice before we begin to move in this container that we call a body. An invitation to take your feet wide and let your knees fall in towards one another. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. And if it feels comfortable and safe in your body, maybe you close the windows of your eyes, resting your hands in your lap or on your thighs. And taking this next moment to acknowledge that your body is breathing. This tiny miracle that does not ask to be noticed, but choosing to notice it anyway. Acknowledging your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And checking in with the temperature of the mind, noticing what sort of storm or dialogue is being created and the patterns of thinking. And anchoring, choosing to anchor your attention not to a specific thought, but returning back to that intimate relationship of noticing your breath, breathing in, breathing out. Bringing the hands to the low belly. And often you'll hear we're going to do diaphragmatic breathing. And in diaphragmatic breathing, you're encouraged to breathe into your belly, but you're really breathing into the diaphragm that inflates the belly and deflates the belly. It seems to inflate and deflate the belly. So using your hands as sort of a point to recognize this movement internally As you breathe in fully all the way down into the low lobes of your lungs, you'll feel your hands rise from the belly. And as you breathe out, the belly starts to descend, your hands pull closer towards your spine. Breathing in fully, widening the expansion of your lungs, and breathing out completely. Let's do 3 or 4 more. Breathing in fully. Breathing out completely. Breathing in around the edges of your lungs and breathing out. 2 more. Breathing in fully and breathing out slowly. Let's do one last one. Breathing in fully, allowing the entire volume of your lungs to inflate, and then breathing out, deflating. And allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm, not controlling or manipulating in any way. Coming back to breathing naturally and having a little more awareness of this intimate relationship you have with breathing in and breathing out. And if your eyes have been closed, slowly flutter those eyelids open. Hello. Bring your hands to your thighs and then walk your hips towards the edge of your chair. Good. So we're going to walk with our hips just a little bit more. Start to lift one hip up and send it back or forward, depending where you are in your chair. Lift the other hip up and send it back or forward, depending where you are. And just continue to lift a hip up and back or up and forward. And then we'll walk it once more forward and back. So allow the movement to come from the hip. Good. And then find a space between the middle of your seat. And move my blanket so that you are a little bit more free with the movement here. You want to be able to move your thighs and your feet coming off of the back of your chair. Drop your chin slowly down towards your chest, keeping the spine tall and erect. In the last class, I did a lot of cueing of keeping your heart reaching towards the sky. Shoulders soften down and away from your ears. And we'll start to come into our neck stretches with our chin bowing down towards the chest. Slowly roll your chest over towards the right and slowly over towards the left. And keep your movement nice and slow, sweet and supple. Just rotating on the neck left and right. And then allowing this movement to progressively get larger. So maybe you start bringing your head a little bit more over the left shoulder, further down, and a little bit more over the right shoulder. And starting to tilt your head with a little bit bigger movement. You might stay with your half circles. Maybe you let your head fall back just slightly. Come back down towards your chest and rotate the other way. Maybe the head goes back just a little. And then find your sweet spot so you decide where you want to continue exploring this motion of half neck circles or full neck circles. Just getting acquainted with the tiny muscles that hold your head up, keeping your shoulders soft and down and away from your ears. And eventually make your head back to a neutral place. We'll start rolling our shoulders up, back and down. Oh, it feels so good. Up, back and down. And rotate the other direction. Just exploring the mobility that is here in the shoulders. We'll try opposite shoulders, so sending one back and the other forward, one back and the other forward, letting your hands slide up and down your thighs is a great way to stay connected with this fluid motion, sort of like you were swimming through water. And often we are deprived of touch, and just having this non-intimate but tender and soft touch to yourself offers great rewards to the nervous system. So much of our nervous system lives in the flesh of our bodies. And as we continue to roll the shoulders forward and back, this connection of your hands to the sensitive touch of the thighs can really help regulate our nervous system. And then come to a neutral spine. Sit tall, sit well with your shoulders down and back. We're going to come into twisting with our hands at our hearts. An invitation to come into Anjali Mudra. Push your hands into one another and lift your elbows up while you soften your shoulders down. Connect your thumbs to your chest bone, your sternum, and we'll twist towards the right and then twist towards the left. Twist towards the right. Let your gaze follow your movement. So you're looking towards the right, and then you look center and then over to the left. Let's do that a few more times. Center to the right, center to the left. Center, flash me a smile. Hello. Over to the right. Center to the left. Last time, center to the right, center to the left. And center, drop your hands down so that they're long by your sides and start to roll through your wrist, taking big movement through the wrist. You might even notice my elbows and my shoulders are also moving a little bit, but I'm really focusing on this movement in the wrist, rotating through my wrist, even twirling the fingers. Good. Change direction of those rotations in your wrist, keeping the arms long and heavy down by your sides. Now we're going to start linking our movement with our breath. On an inhale, pull the arms back, cactus the arms. We're creating these cacti like in the Sonora Desert, reaching the fingers up. Inhale, pull the elbows and the shoulders back as you bring the chest forward. Use your exhale to send your arms forward, round through your spine. Chin comes towards the chest. Big movement here. Inhale, cactus the arms, open the chest, bend into the back. Exhale, round through the spine, chin in towards the chest. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this movement. Take an inhale, bend through the spine, shoulders go back. Exhale, round through the spine. Push into the space behind you. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, big chest forward. Exhale, round through the spine. 2 more. Inhale, big movement forward. Exhale, round through the spine, chin in towards your chest. Last one. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round through the spine, chin in towards your chest. Inhale, reach your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, bring the palms together down to your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take a full breath in and a slow breath out. Let's do that one more time, breathing in fully, exhaling completely. Interlace your fingers and then bring the hands back behind your head, elbows open, wide and out. Beautiful. We're going to do our side bends. Ooh, I just noticed the shadow behind me. That's so cool. Can you see? I have like an extra pair of wings. All right, side bending here. Sit tall, sit well, lifting your heart up. And as you exhale, send your right elbow to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, center. Exhale to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other. 2 more. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Last round. Inhale, center. Elbows are wide. Exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, float your hands down to your lap or to the side body. It doesn't matter. Let's take a seated samastiti or a seated tadasana, mountain pose. You decide if you want to bring your hands together or let the hands drop down by your sides, palms towards me. Shoulders up, back, and down. Heart is proud and lifted. Take a moment to feel yourself in this equilibrium, this balancing posture of left and right hemispheres. Bring the hands down to your thighs if they aren't there already, and then lift your left foot up and extend your left leg. Ooh, my foot needs a pedicure. Bend into your foot or your knee, and then plant that foot down. Let's do the other side. Extend your right leg, and then bring that right leg back in and down. Good. Extend your left leg. Stay here. Maybe you hold on to the outside of your thigh and roll through your ankle. Ooh, my ankle is talking. Notice what's happening in your shoulders. If you are holding that leg up, you could also hold on to the chair and use the strength of your leg to hold that leg up. And then bring that leg back down. Other side, lift and lengthen. Maybe you hold the leg up by interlacing the fingers, pull the shoulders down, roll through the ankle. This one has a lot to say too. I'm just noticing the messages that your body offers you when you pay attention. When you give it time and space to talk. Good. Bring that foot back down to the ground. We're going to come into our seated side lunge here. So turn towards your left and take your right leg back behind you. Take your left hand to the back of your chair. You're going to let that right knee drop down towards the ground. Now, the back toes could stay tucked under, nice stretch in the ball of the foot, or bringing the flat top of the foot towards the ground. So we want to get a nice opening in the front of our hip here. Staying here and balancing, or reaching the right arm up, getting really long through the right side body. Softening that right shoulder away from your ear. Getting really heavy in that right leg, just letting that leg open in the front. You could even reach the right arm up and over, getting even more of a side bend here. And reaching the arm up, letting the arm float down, bringing that leg back underneath of you and rotating to the other side. Sending now your left leg, or whichever leg you decided to work on, send that leg back, deciding if you want to keep those back toes tucked or let the top of the foot come flat. You decide what feels good here. Now I'm tall, so my leg's just touching the ground here, but I'm going to use the strength of my leg to push off and let that leg hang. Maybe your arm reach is up and over, starting first reaching for the sky and then hinging at the waist. I dare you to guess my height in the comments. Lower that hand down and then bring the leg back in and come back to your chair. From here, we're going to stand up and then rearrange the space. So I'm going to take my chair towards the top of my mat and come over here and just lift the camera up a little bit. There we go. We'll meet each other in our mountain pose. Take your feet about hip width distance apart. So your feet are under your knees are under your hips, your hips are under your shoulders, your hands are by your sides. Softness in your knees. Look forward. And just as we did in the chair in our seated mountain pose, embracing the balance of your standing mountain pose, tucking the tailbone underneath of you, still pulling the heart high towards the sky. We're going to come into our sun salutations. On an inhale, reach the arms high. On an exhale, forward fold, hands come down to your chair. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step your left leg back. Move your right foot a little bit forward into your lunge. Inhale, shoulders roll back, look up. Exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale, step your right leg back, downward facing dog. Hips lift high, head comes down towards the ground. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, roll forward into your plank. Shoulders over wrists, push back through your heels. Engage the abdominals. Beautiful. Long line of energy here from your head to your heels. Deep breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Your right foot stays back. Find your lunge here on the other side. Inhale, grow tall through the spine. Shoulders relax down and away from your ears. Look forward. And exhale, soften. Deep breath in. And exhale out. Inhale, step your back foot forward. Bring the feet underneath of you and fold. Bend into your knees. Inhale, come into your chair pose. Hands can stay on the chair, or maybe you reach the hands out in front of you. Bring them to heart center. If you're feeling really bold and have the space in your shoulders, arms can reach high. Sink down into your chair. Take a breath in. And then exhale, stand tall in your mountain. Full breath in and out. One more time. Inhale, arms extend high and up. Maybe there's a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the chair. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step your right leg back into your lunge. Oh, I got a little long there. Left foot comes forward, right foot pulls back. Inhale, shoulders roll back, look up, pull the heart forward. Exhale, step your left leg back, downward facing dog. Full breath in, slow breath out. Inhale, come forward to your strong plank. Push back through your heels. Engage the abdomen. Push down into the hands. Shoulders pull back away from your ears. Full breath here. Slow breath out, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes forward, left foot stays back. Find your lunge at the chair. Inhale, grow tall through the spine, push back through your left back heel. Stay here. Full breath in. Exhale, step your left foot forward and your right foot just a little bit back to fold. Bend into your knees, come up into your chair pose, arms reach forward, hands at the heart or arms overhead. Depends on how spicy you want your chair to be. Sit down low, full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Well done. Take a full breath in and exhale. All right, we're going to turn the chair around if you haven't already. So we want the back of the chair to face us. And we're going to play with moving the feet close, having just different orientation of the base of the body. It all starts at the feet when it comes to balance. So let's play with the feet a little bit more. I want you to bring your feet as close together as you can. I'm going to pull my pants up a little so you can see those toes of mine. There you go. And beginning to rise up, standing tall in your mountain pose with the feet close together. Hand on the chair. You could float the hand off of the chair. And the second step to checking in with balance is recognizing where you're looking. Helps with balance if you're looking at something ahead that's not moving. So maybe at something above the computer or below it, just a little bit further out into your gaze, choosing to focus on something that's not moving. Now, if you feel like you're in a good place and you feel safe with this balance exercise, maybe you close your eyes. Maybe you close your eyes and you say, oh no, Crista, no, no. Maybe you hold on to the chair and close your eyes. This is an opportunity to explore what's here, not to judge it, just to play. All right, now let's bring our left foot in front of the right, toe to heel. Like you were taking a very short step forward. And then move your weight into the back right leg and then to the front left leg. Back right leg, front left leg. And then find your balance between the two. So balancing the weight between the back foot and the front foot. Maybe those hands stay on the chair. Maybe the hand floats away from the chair. And notice how your body responds. There's these tiny muscles in my back foot that I can feel are doing this weird thing where they're like, wait a minute, we have to work now? We haven't done this before. So just notice how your body responds when you invite it into a new challenge that maybe it's never experienced before. And same practice. Maybe the fingers come back to the chair and you decide to play with closing your eyes or not. Could keep your gaze fixed on something not moving in front of you. In Sanskrit, they call this your drishti, finding your drishti, a point at which you can focus on to support your balance. All right, bring your left foot back in, take the feet wide, and then turn around to the back of the chair. Bring your hands to the back of the chair, step the feet back behind you, and come into a forward fold. You could even drop even further down, coming deeper into the stretch of the hamstrings and the legs, and just roll forward and back on the toes and the heels. Just resetting our balance. And then slowly lifting yourself up and walking your feet back underneath of you to turn towards me once more. All right, let's try it now with the right foot in front of the left toes. Toe to heel, toe to heel. And notice what's happening in the hips here. So some of us might swing our hips really hard one way or significantly the other way. See if you can find that balance in your pelvis to stabilize yourself on your feet. And notice how your body's responding. What's moving? What's sort of wiggling? What's trying to figure this out right now? Not judging, just noticing the play and all the things that your body's doing to support you. Now choosing to stay focused on something that's not moving or inviting the windows of the eyes to close. Keeping your hand floating on or above or around the chair. As soon as I let go of the chair, my back leg started doing that really fun thing where it's trying to figure out how to stabilize. Our bodies know what to do. It's the mind that makes us believe we can't trust it. All right, flutter your eyes open if you went there. And then bring your right foot back to its friend behind it. Sort of tilt up onto the toes and sort of massage the ankle, rolling around a little bit from side to side. Ooh, I got a nice little pop. Wonder if the microphone picked that up. All right, turn back to the chair, hands on the back of the chair. Step back into your forward fold, taking the feet a little bit wider this time and moving the hips from side to side. Might try some hip circles in our forward fold with the chair. All right, come forward. We're going to try that once more, maybe the same way or a little variation that we're going to come into as we move into playing with balance. So we'll start with which leg did we do first? I can't remember, but we're going to do both. Either bringing your right foot in front of the left toes, or perhaps you bring the right leg all the way over to cross at the knees. Some people find the crossing over a bit easier because you're actually keeping a center of gravity a bit wider than in tandem. So decide what you want to try, crossing at the knees, bringing the leg over the opposite. Finding something to focus your gaze on. Focusing on that drishti, that focal point where your eyes are going to pay hard attention to. Maybe you float the hand away from the chair. Maybe you're tapping, sort of playing with the balance, tapping with the fingers. Maybe you close your eyes. All just play here. Noticing how the body's responding to our balance work. And bring that hand back to the chair. Open the eyes if they were closed. And I'll invite you to turn your head one direction and then the other. Good. Maybe you come back through center, look up, and look down. Well done. Uncross that front leg. Turn back around. You named it. We're going to come into that forward fold. Just bend the knees, some here, lifting your opposite heels. And taking some time to roll through the hips, maybe getting a side bend here. And then coming to the other side, walking your feet underneath of you. Staying with your legs in tandem, so one in front of the other, or choosing to cross it over. So if you're following my guidance, you're going to take your left foot over the right, cross it over. Or keeping the right foot in front of the left toes. You decide and meet yourself with grace today. Notice that hip sticking out and see if you can pull it underneath of you. Stacking your shoulders over your hips, over your ankles. Soften the back knee. Find something to focus on that's not moving. So don't look at me during this practice, but maybe something above the computer, behind it, below it. And while you focus your gaze, maybe you float the hand off of the chair. Maybe the fingers come back to tap the chair and you decide to play with closing your eyes. Just playing in whatever part of your balance experience that you are having right now. Bringing that hand back to the chair if it's not already. Flutter your eyes open. And then look over one side. And the other way, slowly moving the head. Back to center, looking up. And looking down. Lifting your gaze back up. Uncrossing that front leg. Coming back to the chair, step back into our forward fold. I have to admit, my friends, I have a spider friend on my mat, and you may get an involuntary shriek from me if it decides to crawl on my feetsies. Take your hips from side to side, and maybe you come into those big hip circles. And then reverse those hip circles the other direction. All right, we're going to come into a warrior one. So shorten your stance. You've got some space between the chair and the back of your mat. And we're going to step our right leg back. Now I want your right toes at about a 45-degree angle. So big toes pointing towards the top of your mat. And then give yourself some space. Left foot widens. Bend into the knee. Send the back heel down. This is a really nice calf stretch here. You could always come up onto the toes if that's too much for your calf. Yogi's choice. Listen to the wisdom of your body. Bending in a little bit deeper into that front knee. Squaring off your hips. Sending that left knee out. Keeping the hands on the chair or maybe bringing them up into Samasthiti Anjali Mudra. If you're feeling spicy, you can extend the arms up and overhead. I can sense some of you really wanting that spider to crawl across my foot. He's thinking about it. She's really close to my left toe. If you want to go on a scavenger hunt. Lower the hands back down to your chair. Let's step the front foot back and come into your downward facing dog. Wide feet here. So I want you to invite the belly to come in between the thighs. And now we'll step our right foot forward, keeping the left foot back. Sending those big toes pointing towards the corner of your yoga mat or your non-slip surface. I've got long legs. I'm going to go a little bit wider here. You can decide to go shorter or longer. Bend into your front knee. Engage your pelvis by pulling it in and underneath of you. Hands can stay on the chair, shoulders roll down the back. Maybe the hands come to Anjali Mudra. If you're feeling stable here, reach the arms overhead. Take a full breath in. Push back through that left heel. Slowly breathe out. Hands come back to the chair. Step your left foot forward and then find mountain pose, Tadasana. Soft through your knees. If you want to try bringing the toes as close together as you can, maybe the chair's right here with your fingertips. And just seeing how the body's responding to this version of mountain. All right, one more balance posture before we cool down. Take your chair and turn it back around. Where are you, little spider friend? There you are. And we're going to do what's called bird dog on the chair. Bring your hands to your chair, the seat of your chair. And let's just play with lifting one leg back and lifting the other leg back. I knew I was going to kick this and bring it underneath of you. Lifting your opposite leg back as high as you can, and then bringing the other back. Staying with this movement, or you might add bringing the opposite arm forward as you lift the opposite leg. I'll start cueing what I'm doing here. Lift your right leg and extend your left arm. And then opposite. Lift your left leg, extend your right arm. Beautiful. Let's do once more on each side, extending opposite leg and arm. And the other side. And then forward fold. Letting your head hang heavy. Breathing in slowly and out slowly. Take your feet a little bit wider and find some more hip circles here. Just letting you know the spider has evacuated the premises of the yoga mat. I don't think you're going to get any involuntary shrieking from me. All right, my friends, step your feet forward. Sit down in your chair. Before you sit down, actually, I would like for you to bring your blocks or your boxes nearby and just place them in front of you. And then have a seat. All right. Now, we're going to come back into our seated lunge. So rotate towards the right and send your left leg back behind you. Tucking the toes under for that foot stretch or flattening the top of the foot, opening the front of the left hip, reaching the left arm up and over through the fingertips, growing long through the left side body, and then hinging the right rib towards the right hip. You could bring the left hand to the back of the head or to the shoulder. Maybe roll the shoulder out. or keep that arm long. And then come back up. We'll go to the other side. Sending your right leg long behind you, keeping the toes tucked for a foot stretch, or untucking the foot for an ankle stretch. Pushing down through that knee, pushing down through the front foot, extending the right arm up and over, or bringing the hand to the back of the head, and then hugging your left rib towards your left hip, coming into a side bend. Maybe the fingers come to the shoulder and you can roll the shoulder out. Wherever you decide to experience this posture, keep breathing mindfully. Float that hand down and then come back through center. All right, now this is going to be a fun one to set up. We're going to come into a hamstring stretch. Now, if you don't have blocks or boxes, I knew you were going to be right there. The fighter has decided to join us again. What we're going to do is extend one leg and start to hinge over. Now, if you have a block, it can be really beneficial to lift that heel up onto the block, keeping that knee soft, reaching up through the heart and folding at the hips to round forward over the leg, reaching for the ankle, the shin, the knee, maybe the toes, and breathing. Your body has done so much for you today and every day. And I hope that in this practice, you're able to acknowledge and recognize all that it does for you, even in those challenging days. These tiny miracles that do not ask for attention. Our breathing, our muscles that move us, our bones that hold us. It really is a miracle that this body does all these things just to sustain our life, this one life. All right, rise up. Bring that foot back in. Move the block if you're using one. Excuse me, friend, can you move on? And then bring that heel on top of your block or extend the leg out in front of you onto the ground. Take a breath in, lifting through your heart, and then exhale, fold, reaching for your shin, your ankle, near your foot. And taking a few quiet breaths as we start to slow down our practice of focusing on balance and some play. And slowly come back up. Bring that leg back in. And we'll come into our figure 4. For some, it could feel best to extend the leg and bend the opposite leg on top. So you're kind of coming into a seated tree posture or just crossing at the ankle with the knee opening. You could bend into that lengthened leg and maybe bring the foot on top of the knee, coming into our seated figure 4 or our seated pigeon pose. Another variation is to cross the left leg over the right. Wiggle out that ankle. Sit tall and sit well wherever you're deciding to take this experience. And then start to bring your heart forward, pulling the belly on top of the thigh. or towards on top, depending on your version that you're playing with. Will definitely experience a different kind of fold. While you're there, I want to show you, just teach you a little bit about um, spinal flexion and extension. And so often as we age, we start to lose the ability to keep the heart upright because our trunk muscles can get a little bit weaker. So I want to encourage you as you're folding forward to avoid folding forward in this direction, but sitting tall and using the hinge of your hips to come forward and then round through your spine. And taking a few more breaths as you've adjusted your spine or your relationship to gravity and how you're choosing to fold over that front leg. All right. Unwind the legs depending on which way you decided to experience that posture. And then we'll come to the other side, just deciding which variation you want to experience today and how your body is responding to the posture. Sitting tall and sitting well, and moving the heart forward before you round through your spine. Slowly come up, uncross the ankle, and sit back in your chair. Take a moment to get comfortable, placing a blanket under or on top of the feet, maybe. Taking the feet wide and letting the knees fall in. Allowing the hands to rest in your lap. Closing the windows of the eyes. And taking a breath in through your nose. And a slow, soft breath out through the nose. Allowing the body to soften into the weight of gravity. Giving ourselves a chance to integrate the benefits of our practice. Might even be some intention to lengthen your exhale. Gifting ourselves this moment to be present. In a world that's begging for us to be distracted, may we be present. Start to notice the sounds in the room, the taste on your tongue, the smell in the air. What you can feel on your skin or in your heart. And with eyes closed or open, acknowledging what you can see. And taking a full breath into the body and letting that breath go. Fluttering your eyes open. Bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra. In the words of my teacher, Kim Dry, may we bow the intelligence of our minds to the wisdom of our hearts. May you continue to acknowledge the strength and the tiny miracles. Do not ask for attention. Be well, my friends. I'll see you again soon.